Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Kay and this is Queen Queer. On today's episode, we are talking about something that, from the last episode, we kind of touched a little bit on, which is daddy issues. So, on this week, since Father's Day is around the corner, I decided, you know what? Let me be devil's advocate a bit and talk about the real problems about daddy issues. I'm sure the statistics don't even have to say it, but there's a lot of us, a lot of people who have, you know, who have grown up without a proper father figure, a proper role model that's a man, and in some instances it might have affected us, it might have not affected us, but then, as you know, I'm not doing this alone. I got some help from a couple of my friends and I asked them a couple of questions. So, just to get their perspective on on this topic. So the first question I asked them was that, are daddy issues a factor or play a role in the outcome of your life as a queer person? And this is what they had to say.
Daddy issues have never been a factor, nor have they played a role in the outcome of my life as a bisexual girl. Um, Growing up, I had a pretty decent childhood. My grandfather was there most of my upbringing, and even though I didn't know my biological dad for some time, my stepfather was there for as long as I can remember. And yeah, I've never really experienced any issues that I could connect to, daddy issues or the absence of my biological father in my life. So I've never really had any issues related to daddy issues.
Daddy issues, personally, it does. I'm speaking on behalf of myself, hey? It does because there's always that longing and that void inside me, for that fatherly connection, which has been missing in my life for as long as I can remember. By virtue of growing up, my parents were separated, so I was raised by a single mother, and we totally moved away from where we used to stay with my dad. So I think the absence of an emotional connection with my dad and the absence of physical connection, with my dad has also influenced even some of the decisions that I have made as an individual and as an adult, because there's that voice, there's that connection that is missing. So I have found that to really affect me, and it still does. It's only now that, I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to take accountability for it, and just understand that the void is not there, and the person who was supposed to fill the void did not fill the void. So I cannot then look for other people to fill in the void. It has also influenced, the people that I've dated, but then I've always been dating elderly men, trying to replace maybe that fatherly figure, in my life. So I think it has affected me personally on a personal level. I mean,
Yeah. So you see, there's two factors that come into play. The one person is saying it really didn't bother them. The other person says it did kind of bother them. So it depends on the person. It depends on your life experience. And some of us have thicker skin and just like I whether he's here or not, life goes on. No problem there. But then there's others who, who feel that void when growing up. I in a way I kind of feel like your upbringing, besides him, your father not being there or not, kind of plays a role in, and the type of people who raise you as well, kind of has an impact and give your life perspective, especially when you're growing up, because you don't know no better. You're a child by then. And then I asked this other question, and this one is especially for the gay guys. Basically, it's like, you know how society kind of says that gay guys are only gay because they were raised by women in a environment that's filled with just women. That's why they are gay, because they never had a male figure around. And in a way, it, as I said in the beginning, it only depends on how you grew up and how you, the person, decides to shape and carve out your life. This is what my friend had to say about that aspect right there.
This is a conflicting question for me. I am on a 50-50 basis. Because then, from what we hear from society and stuff like that, society really does pinpoint the fact that because there wasn't a man around, therefore, that is the reason why you're feminine or you turned out gay. But I've seen, other family setups where literally everything is perfect. There is a present dad, there's a present mother, and still, the child comes out gay. So yeah, it's a bit conflicting. Honestly, it's a bit conflicting for me on a personal level. But then it comes to me, I really would like to believe that had my father been around, I think I would have still turned out the way I turned out, because then I've seen my father and he had erased us with the kind of person that he is. I think nothing would have changed. Basically, nothing would have changed, because emotionally wise he's absent, physically he's absent, everything, so I'm just trying to think. I really, man, it's a really conflicting issue, but I would like to believe I would have still have turned out the way that I turned out. Oh.
So, with regards to this question, I'm obviously I'm not a gay guy, but I would like to think that regardless of whether the father is there or not, there are gay people with parents, both parents there. Without both parents there, we have orphans, we have, single parented households. So it really would not, people just kind of wanna factor in whatever they want to justify why certain things are abnormal to them, and it just it just goes from person to person. Sexual preference is just sexual preference. There is no tick box of what needed to be done. If this thing didn't become like this, if this was done, if this was not done, this person would have or would have not been gay. um, and then I switched it up a bit, and I asked, the ladies, what do they think about about then society seeming to think that lesbians, especially bush lesbians, are manly because they want to be the male figure that they lacked when they were growing up, or acting out in a manner of men that they saw and they experienced. So I want to hear if this actually was true or not, and it gives perspective to some other things that maybe I didn't really even think about. But here we go.
Answer because of I, for one, if someone calls me a boy, I correct them that I'm not a boy. I'm just a girl who has feelings for other girls, who feels comfortable in boys' clothes. You get, there are those lesbians who think that they have to be in control, dominate everything, smoke cigarettes, change everything about them, even the walk. You get, sometimes they end up even abusing their partners because if they think they they are men, whereby it's not. So for me, I I stand to correct anyone who calls me a man or a boy. I don't see myself as a man or a boy. You get, so I correct them in born. If you call me head out, why autiso? I correct them for no. I'm just a girl who's in love with other girls who feels comfortable in men's clothes. You get, so yeah. I've always had a problem with people that attach their own reasons as to why a person is lesbian, gay, bisexual, pansexual, asexual, and so forth, because they automatically attach reasons such as this. They automatically start thinking that lesbians are lesbians because they lacked a a good father figure in their life. And sure, maybe to a certain extent it is true, for some lesbians, because every single person has a story. Every single person has a story. Emphasis on person and not just, every single gay person or every single lesbian or every single intersex person or every single pansexual. You get what I mean? Every single person has a story, and um, with their stories comes how they have conducted their lives, so to say, and how they have chosen to live their lives. So I don't think that this is true, but I am opening room to the fact that it might be true for some lesbians, but to a certain extent. Because as much as we have daddy issues, in the world that we now live in, and as much as daddy issues have existed for as long as we can remember, I just feel like sexual preference is sexual preference. This is just who you prefer to be in a relationship with, you know? And should you should one be given a chance to tell their story, only then we will know what's going on. But it's very unfair for us to always assume that a gay person is gay because of whatever reason they wish to attach, and that a lesbian is a lesbian because of whatever reason they feel to attach, just like this reason.
Yeah. So you guys heard it. I mean, it's things that come and go. We can't change how we were brought up, but we can change those negative factors that affected us in a bad way to make good come out of the bad. You know what I'm saying? So, man, even in psychology, I'm sure there is no way they can depict why people are gay and why people are lesbian, why people are queer, why people like who they like. It would take, I have no idea what it would take, but I don't think anybody has the formula to how people became gay, and it's just that I'm bringing up daddy issues because it's one of those questions that are always lingering underneath of what people think it is to be queer and gay and what it really is to be queer and gay, especially in South Africa, especially with the society we live in, especially with so many kids growing up without fathers, especially with kids who do have fathers, but their fathers are either abusive, absent, or doing what have you. So you see, it really is a person to person experience, and sexuality on its own cannot be justified by daddy issues. So, guys, we will continue this topic in part two. Don't forget to purchase your shirts and show your support. Also, like, share, and comment. And who knows, one of your questions or suggestions, we might just call you up and have a discussion on that. I'm Kay, this is Queen Queer. Peace.